Welcome to Chris Strub Unmuted. I'm Chris Strub, and today we're talking about legacy. Our time here on Earth is so fleeting. You know, if I got hit by a bus this afternoon and this was it, what would Chris Strub's legacy be? This is Chris Strub Unmuted, a show designed for open dialogue, honest reflection, and uncensored truth about the lives that we lead. Today's episode looks at legacy, a topic that I think is really a through point for a lot of this show to come. Right? Today we're recording episodes for our opening season, but I think as the show progresses, I'm really going to want to get into talking to all of our guests about their legacies. It's really important to me to think about, who are we? What are you known for? And what will you be known for? Right? Our time here on Earth is so fleeting. Right? Time flies. It really does. And I could have never imagined that I would wake up and be 40 friggin' years old. I mean, look at me. I'm dressed like that meme. Hello, fellow kids. My backwards hat on, because I'm very much a kid at heart. And you can criticize me. I'm sure a lot of people do for not embracing my age as much. I've got the long hair again for now. I mean, we'll see if it makes it even past this afternoon at this point. But I think a lot about legacy. And I think all the time about, what will Chris Strub be known for? And that's evolved, obviously, a lot over the years. And I think it's worth saying right off the bat that the legacy that I have written so far to date is not the legacy that I hope to leave one day. I've been very open and honest about this in the past. I will continue to be. That my hope is that my legacy will someday to be a dad, and not just a puppy dad. You know, Link is here, and that's wonderful. But someday I'd love to have kids of my own. But for now, and it's ironic that I phrase it this way all the time. You know, if I got hit by a bus this afternoon and this was it, what would Chris Strub's legacy be? And if I do get hit by a bus, hopefully Max, my producer, will get these files, and we can at least have a few episodes of Chris Strub Unmuted out there for future legacy listening and viewing. The plan, of course, is to record and share many, many more. But I think for most people who have met Chris Strub in one way or another over the years, and my legacy lies in the pages of this book. And this is 50 States, 100 Days, the book. This is my pride and joy. This is my love. This is my story. This is my magnum opus. This is my first book. I've written 4 books now. This is not the best of the 4, but it is absolutely and will forever be the most meaningful to me. By the way, the best book I've written is Fight for Good Tour. That was the second book. So if you want to get started with the Chris Strub reading series, you should start here, but know that it gets better as I become a better author as the years go by. Now, there's probably a, 50% chance that you have no idea what I'm talking about. What is this 50 States, 100 Days? Why is Chris Strub wearing a yellow hoodie and the backwards yellow hat? I was going to wear the Binghamton University hat, by the way. I don't know what I did with the original hat. I'm showing the camera now if you're listening to audio only. The cover of the book has me wearing a yellow t-shirt and a backwards Binghamton University cap. And this photo was actually taken in Dickinson, North Dakota. Funny enough, with my old car, the Honda Hotel. So let's get into what that means. What are we talking about, right? And why is this important for you, the listener? Why do you give a shit about a road trip that some white dude went on back in 2015? Well, here's why. For our audio listeners, I just took a sip of my frozen bombsicle C4. It is my favorite C4 flavor, and perhaps they'll be a sponsor someday. Look, in the spring of 2014, I was working at an advertising agency in Binghamton, New York, and I was not really happy with, I don't even want to say the work that I was doing, because I did enjoy the work that I was doing. It was more the life that I was leading. Talked about it in another episode already, the idea of manifestation and thinking about, you should check out that episode if you haven't already, but manifesting who I wanted to be in life. What do I want to do with my life? And what ultimately do I want to be known for when I die? And at that point, I couldn't really pinpoint anything. You know, I had been working at a newspaper in Binghamton out of college for several years. And thought a lot about how, boy, this is difficult to say, how inconsequential a lot of that work felt. And realized that I wanted to achieve and do more with my life. And for anyone probably younger than me, you might not have, or, you know, several years younger than me, you might not have as strong a recollection of how the internet and how the social media industry were really accelerating strongly and picking up speed in that mid 2010s era. And for me, my career, you know, as someone in his mid 20s at that point, I started to realize that my career, my best opportunity in my career would be to really try and stay ahead of the curve with what was happening in the social media space. And as we got into 2014 and then into 2015, this was really the start of a watershed change in the industry, which was mobile live streaming. Now, of course, live streaming itself had been around for, I mean, decades. You know, if you think about television and how people consume media, you know, in their own homes. It's funny, we'll get back to that maybe in another episode, how televisions are becoming more important now in 2025 into 2026 than they were in 2014, 2015. But I saw a huge opportunity in the ability to get out and use live streaming technology in ways that no one had ever done before. And that was ultimately through a phone. Not this phone. This is an iPhone 17 Pro Max that I got a few weeks ago, upgraded. Sure would have been nice to have the power of this technology back then, but we took what we could. Right? So I grabbed a cell phone, grabbed a GoPro. It's probably this GoPro right here. I didn't even realize I have it right here. And I decided to be imaginative. What is the coolest, boldest thing that I could do with my life to create something memorable? What could I accomplish what could I do that would allow me to build my own legacy? And it's funny how we think about what we want to do and accomplish in our lives. That post-college era is challenging for a lot of people, especially if you didn't, fall in love and follow that traditional path, straight out of college, which a lot of people do. And no shame on that at all, especially down here in the South. You're lucky if you make it through college without getting married, being pregnant, all those things. And trust me, now being 40 and still single, that can, again, be another entire episode of its own. But for me, I didn't really know who I wanted to be in my 20s. That's hard to acknowledge. And so 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, I was just accepting whatever the world was giving to me. And that was over the year, like, I don't remember all of the exact specifics of it, but 2011, I would have been overjoyed that my night job at the newspaper office next door to the Johnson City, New York sewage plant that smelled like literal shit every night, I would have been overjoyed. It was a huge move for me to get Thursday night and Friday night off instead of Wednesday night and Thursday night off. You know what I mean? Like, that was where my mindset was like, ooh, I got my 25-cent raise and I have Friday nights off now. Great. But that to me was success. What does success look like? I don't have to work Friday nights anymore. Saturday nights, I was there. Sunday night, loved working Monday nights. It's a nice, easy night. But that was it. I think I was making, when I started, $28,000 a year on the copy desk at the Press and Sun Bulletin in Binghamton. And it didn't go up much from there over the years. And I was happy. I was happy. I had a job. I had health insurance. I had friends. I had cases of beer at home, video games. And that was life for years. And it was fine. I dated the two prettiest girls in the office. Spoiler alert, neither one of those turned out well, especially the second one. Spoiler alert, I got cheated on. And that was really the spark that pushed me to want to redefine my own life and do more. And I hate that it took me till 28 into 29 to realize how much more I was capable of in life. And I'm 40 now, and I still don't think I have come close to realizing what I am capable of in life. I'll say that right now too. So if you're watching this and you're 35, you're 45, you're 55, you're 65, please know, as I talked about in the episode about manifestation, that your thought processes, easy for me to say, about who you are, what your legacy is. It's still entirely up to you to make those decisions and to think about how you want to be remembered. It's not too late. It's never too late. It's never too late, really. And so for me, it was at that age, 28, 29, when I decided that I needed to break free. And I decided to do that by going to 50 states in 100 days. And this journey largely has defined who Chris Strub is to a lot of people over the years. I've been very, very blessed, and I am extremely grateful to all of those decision makers who gave me opportunities back in the day, really mostly before COVID. So this trip was May 15th to August 21st, 2015. And then from that day forward until really the start of COVID, I was on a career arc of becoming a public speaker. I don't want to say a successful public speaker. I think I probably would have gotten there, but I do largely miss being on stage. You know, I do think that had COVID not come around in 2020, that my destiny and my career arc and all of those things, all those manifestations really would have been dramatically different. But that's yet another reason why we're here. Chris Strub Unmuted is to talk about the realities and the unvarnished truths about especially these last 5.5, 6 years now, and how dramatically life has changed since then. I think a lot of people heard from me before COVID. And if you look on my website, even still, teamstrub.com, go to podcasts, there are tons of episodes of me talking to a microphone and a camera like this. There's episodes of me doing interviews in person around the country. I did keynote addresses. I even keynoted a conference out in the United Kingdom with my boy Biz Paul. Marketed live. Amazing event, and huge shout out to Biz Paul for giving me that opportunity. So glad to see your health is improving, my friend. We love you, buddy. But for me, to go back to the hit by a bus scenario, if this was it, 50 states, 100 days. And during this journey, I worked with a different youth-related nonprofit organization in all 50 states. And I think what we're going to end up doing is a series of episodes around 50 states, 100 days, some of the individual experiences that I had along the way, some of the people that I've met, so on and so forth. We're not going to get into all of the minutia of it yet, but instead, I want to look at the holistic picture. And this is the old version of the book. If you have the old version of the book, congratulations, you're amazing. If you have this version of the book, that means you believed in me when I didn't believe in me. This is the original version of the book before I redid it in, I think, 2017. Redid the cover and everything. What's more important than the details of the journey itself today is to talk about the why. I decided to go on that trip and to share those experiences and to tie them together into a book and ultimately a film produced by my amazing friend, Ross Woods, out in Indianapolis. Schofield Productions, just, you guys are incredible. The film is amazing. Some of you guys watching or listening maybe have seen the film. Maybe we'll have more opportunities to see the film in 2026. Stay tuned for that. This journey was a skyrocket for me into the world of public speaking. It was a skyrocket for me into the lives of people who read this book, who followed the journey along the way, and felt inspired to be the best version of themselves. And that means the world to me. That, to me, right now, is still my legacy. 50 states in 100 days. It's something that I can forever hang my hat on, even when I have my hat on backwards. Hello, fellow kids. Because it's memorable, it's impactful, and ultimately, the ethos of what 50 States, 100 Days was designed to have an impact on each and every person that I encountered along the way. And I told myself during that journey and through most of the last decade that I wouldn't fully recognize what 50 States, 100 Days was until 2025. And now here we are. In fact, you're watching and listening to this in 2026. I'm still standing. I'm still here. And those principles of what I tried to bring to and through 50 States, 100 Days are still here too. Which are the importance of relationships, the importance of the impact that you can have on one individual, the importance of being kind, of being generous, of being compassionate, of listening, of caring, and of using the talents that you have for good. That's always been who I am, at least since age 28, 29. And, it's not like I was some, miscreant before age 28. I just didn't really fully recognize the potential of what I could do and what I could offer to the world. And 50 States, 100 Days was my attempt to be the best version of myself. And for better or for worse, it was amazing. Do I wish I had 10 trillion YouTube subscribers? Do I wish I was living in a mega mansion somewhere? Yeah, sure. Why not? Right? Do I wish that the commercialized success of 50 States, 100 Days had been broader? Do I wish that do I wish that it had reached more people? Sure. But does that mean that the people that this journey reached did not have an impact on those that I did encounter? Absolutely not. And it's hard sometimes to feel that through the internet. It's hard sometimes to feel that when you're laying on your back in your bed, scrolling TikTok. Right? So for me, what really made 50 States, 100 Days special was the opportunity to get out and meet people where they are and impact the work that they were doing. This was not scrolling through 50 shades of TikTok channels at home. This was get out on the road, meet people, shake their hands, give hugs, play volleyball with the kids out there, right? This was a journey designed to impact the people that I met and more broadly, the kids that those people were serving. And now that the kids in this book ain't kids anymore, maybe there are kids that I met along the journey that will see that the 50 States, 100 Days guy has grown up, as have they. And that means a lot to me. And my hope is that the learning experiences and the impact that I was able to have during 50 States, 100 Days, and then in the aftermath of being on stage, showing the film different places, people reading the book, this podcast now is a new opportunity for me to continue to drive that impact and to share those lessons of building relationships, of caring about people in your community, and internally imagining and deciding who you are. What is the impact that you can have on the world? It's not going to be 50 States, 100 Days. Long said that. Don't try and do this. It's crazy. What you should do is think about what you can do to build your own legacy in a way that impacts the people that you encounter. What is your 50 States, 100 Days? And when you die, what is the legacy that you will leave on the people that you met along the way? Thanks for listening to Chris Strub Unmuted. Support the show by clicking like and subscribe. Keep up with me on social media at Chris Strub. And remember, we are all famous to a few people.